Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Games, the only gaming news channel brave enough to preview Doom: The Dark Ages Revelations. This is the new DLC pack coming to Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm a huge Doom nerd, maybe the franchise I'm the most dorkily all into. So I'm here to just scream at Bruce for 15 minutes. He's graciously agreed to sit there and get yelled at about Doom and everything I'm excited for. Bruce, how excited are you for this DLC? Did you play through Dark Ages?
I didn't play all the way through Dark Ages, but I did play a good amount and enjoyed it. I love Doom. I'm a big fan of Doom: The Dark Ages. Not as big of a fan as Lawrence, but I'm a big fan of Doom: The Dark Ages, and obviously Doom 2016, and then Doom Eternal. But DLC was kind of surprising. I think you knew that DLC was coming for the Dark Ages, but my number one question about this DLC is what's going to get me to purchase this if I didn't even finish Doom: The Dark Ages?
If you didn't finish Doom: The Dark Ages, I'm not sure, because it is pretty much it's picking up after the Dark Ages in terms of narrative and stuff like that. I suppose perhaps the hook, pun intended there, is that you have a new weapon. So in Doom: The Dark Ages, you had a shield on your left hand and rotating guns on your right. Here you can swap out your left-handed weapon. You can swap the shield to a spear, and the spear opens up more Doom Eternal style movement tech. So now the spear can be used as a meat hook where you grapple to an enemy. It gives you a dash. You can parry bullets with it, all while shooting your ordinary Doom gun with your right hand. So if your complaint or your concern about Doom: The Dark Ages was that it wasn't fast enough, or you didn't feel like you could zoom around, maybe like you could in Doom Eternal, the spear might add that element as an extra layer of enticement. There's also some deep lore cuts, but I'm going to guess that that's not as appealing to you as it is to me.
I mean, look, you know what? How about we just give you a lore corner and you just go right ahead? You tell me the most important part of the lore that you got from the DLC in the next 2 minutes. Go for it.
Oh gosh, well, okay. A couple things. The DLC specifically has some allusions to Doom 2016. You can find some ancient scrolls, and there's some shadowy figures on those scrolls. And we're finally seeing that kind of directly paid off in this DLC. So that was, gosh, over 10 years ago. It's kind of closing the loop on that one. The other one, the far deeper cut, seems to be these flashback sequences that you play as Doom Guy back when he was a human marine. Deep back, like back Doom 1 and 2 kind of era. So it's kind of, I always like it when games do these playable sequences that occurred in retro video games and kind of make them look like old video games. That's distinct from these playable throwback Doom levels that are also in the DLC, but that's another story. And also it wraps in the novels, the terrible mid-90s novels. It's finally canonizing that Doom Guy's name from those novels where he was kind of a weird incel guy is now his name in the Doom universe, whatever. Those are all the deep cuts that are awaiting in the lore. But that's what I'm specifically excited for. So yeah, that's kind of what you get, I think, is... oh yeah, there's a new flow to the DLC in general. There's basically this hub area. It's supposed to have all these secrets and little new areas that open up as you unlock new abilities as you go through the DLC. And then 4 main stages. They're saying that it's, in terms of the content package, basically, they're saying 10 to 12 hours to play through the whole thing. And that it's equal to the Ancient Gods 1 and 2. Those were the DLCs for Doom Eternal. So both those DLCs kind of wrap together, and that's what you got here. So it seems like it's pretty long. Seems like it's opening up a lot of new gameplay with the spear. And it's got deep cuts. I'm excited for that. And a lot of new enemy types. I don't know. Am I selling you on it yet? Anything working for you?
Well, the spear is number one. That is definitely selling me on it. And the spear, I guess I wanted to ask more questions about it because I was like, is this... Obviously, the shield was sort of melee. You could bash, but also you could throw the shield. Could you... And you still always have a gun, right? It's still gun and shield, gun and spear type thing. Is the spear more melee or less melee? What do you think?
It seems like it's more offensive. It's definitely more offensive oriented. I think the idea behind the shield and gun was that the shield was your defensive tool and the gun, of course, your offensive tool. But this is Doom, so you're supposed to be always like going forward. They keep saying they keep making the illusion that in Doom, like you're the monster in a monster film, and the demons are the poor teenagers at camp, basically. So they're focusing more on the offense. I think that's maybe an answer to the slower pace of Dark Ages. They're kind of ramping it up there. Yeah, the spear has multiple upgrade trees and new abilities, all of which seem pretty offensive. There's one that you throw it and then you can teleport to it. Another is that you can meat hook into an enemy and spin around them like a tornado in the air while you're still shooting them with your other gun.
Nice.
And then there's explicit upgrades that kind of feed into this combo sensibility. One that they described is so you do your little tornado attack where you hook into a demon and start spinning around them. But you can buy an upgrade where that automatically fully charges a certain gun that has to charge up normally. So if you want to be efficient about it, you swap to that gun, you hook into a demon, hit them with a fully charged blast by using your upgrades and swapping guns intelligently, which is kind of part of the flow of Doom.
Man, this looks sick. I'm watching the gameplay for the first time, and the spear seems really aerial. That's kind of an interesting thing that you're just like always flying across the screen on these demons, which is amazing. Also, you were talking about new enemy types, and we didn't really get to talk too much about them, so I wanted to hear more about the new enemy types as well.
Yeah, I don't know too much about them either. There was mostly just allusions in the Q&A, and you can see some of it in the gameplay footage. But in terms of classic Doom enemies, the Archvile and the Pain Elemental are back. The Archvile is a little motherfucker that shoots fire at you with as long as he's line of sight, and he summons other demons to fight you, so it's one of those high priority targets. Pain Elemental, just super armored up Cacodemon, a very angry boy. He might have other abilities. It's kind of not, I don't know for sure what their full ability set is, but we'll figure it out when we get into the DLC. There's a Warlock now. There's Wizards. They're going a little more like dark fantasy, I think, with the design, but that's in keeping with the Dark Ages. I think that's kind of where they're going with this, and weirdly kind of authentic to id Software's what they were dorky about. I don't know. Quake was kind of inspired by D&D campaign, so it's always been there.
Also, most importantly for Doom, maybe a lot of people are going to ask about the music, and that's something that I think you had thoughts about the Dark Ages music. It was I really enjoyed it, but I think you probably had a little more insight than I did into the details of what kind of music goes into Doom the Dark Ages versus this DLC.
Yeah, it did seem a little thematically different. So Dark Ages wasn't as, genty or electronic maybe as Doom Eternal. So for me, while I really enjoyed it, I think the Dark Ages soundtrack wasn't as memorable. Like it didn't have the earworms that we got in 2016 or Eternal. My music theory about that is that the rhythms in Dark Ages were a lot more predictable. Like it was very, call it vanilla, but it was just like very 4/4 chugga chugga kind of straightforward rock music, hard rock metal. Whereas in the small samples that I heard in the previews, it's still the same studio making it. Finishing Move is still doing the soundtrack, but I've heard a little more difference in instrumentation. I heard some higher synths in there. I heard like a sitar in one of the tracks, and also the rhythms are a little more varied. You get really cool kind of polyrhythms and those kind of complicated metal time signatures that produce the very bizarre but very earwormy Doom tracks. So I was excited by what I heard, and I think it'll provide a little more character for people that want a much more distinct soundtrack in a Doom game.
Another hallmark of Doom. By the way, I want to say this because Doom is so clearly made by passionate developers who love Doom, and that's why I love it. I love playing it, and I'm not like a massive fan of it, but I really do love playing something or watching something that's made by somebody who's so passionate about what they do. Doom is very clearly that. It's always really exciting to see what they've made. And another hallmark of Doom are the levels. The levels are so clearly something that is usually only in like a type of a Doom shooter. So is there anything new to these levels that you've seen in the DLC?
Yeah, the setting itself, the hub is sort of this frozen over hell. Yeah, it's called Hell's Core in the B-roll that we can see. So yeah, this frosty hell looks really cool. I like kind of frozen over landscapes in general, and they've really done a great job just looking at the B-roll footage. Can't wait to run around and explore. On a few notes about that, they said that they've really worked the exploration, so you're going to want to poke around the environments a lot and really explore every nook and cranny. And you'll probably find a lot of stuff that you need to like wait until you have an upgrade for, that old chestnut. One interesting bit they did mention in the Q&A is that they're not going to put the secrets on the auto map anymore. People want to find them and not be told where they are, so they've said that they've really crammed a ton of secrets in every corner of this map, so it should be fun to poke around in it. To me, that's the good intersection of game design, when you have these amazing environments and then you have a gameplay reason to really pick them over and explore every corner of them. And I like what you said about being able to tell that this is from a passionate studio, because that's one of the reasons that I've been so enamored with id Software is they've been able to consistently make really good, interesting, creative games over whole stretches of periods that other developers have really, really struggled with. Their releases are consistent and constant and high quality and inventive and original. I know it's called Doom, but every Doom game they've made has been such an interesting take on particular aspects of Doom and really evolved it into its own experience. I personally, I think I, like a lot of people, really, really, really like Doom Eternal. So everything I'm seeing here about them adding movement tech and dashes and, like you said, a little more aerial, little up and down aspect to Dark Ages, which was a very kind of flat and horizontal kind of game, makes me very happy. There's also there's layers to this. They're building in a lot of content for, Hugo Martin calls them Doom black belts, basically a lot of like in-game dorks like me. So when you beat the narrative, there's an end game phase now where they'll add a bunch of like really hard challenges all over the whole map. You beat all those, it'll unlock an Uber boss. You beat the Uber boss, it unlocks master arenas. And then you beat all the master arenas and it unlocks DLC for the Ripatorium, which is kind of the true end game. So they're really layering on a lot of content. They're being super efficient. They're putting out like a 10 to 12 hour DLC is pretty good stuff, especially when it comes to Doom, because it's a fast game. You can tend to grind through stuff real fast. So I'm just generally very appreciative of id Software. I'm appreciative that they're still making content like this because not a lot of other developers manage it. And actually, this was brought up in the Q&A. Somebody did ask, hey, why is id Software so awesome? And they're, typical amount of humility, I guess. Basically just saying that everyone at the studio really loves Doom. Everyone feels honored to work on a franchise that has meant so much to so many people. And they also feel a sort of a debt to the masters, the founders of id Software, for creating some of the most memorable and progressive games. That's always good to feel too. A lot of warm feelings, and yeah, from the looks of it, it looks really awesome. Can't wait to get in there and tear up some more demons. And potentially, they didn't say that the narrative would all connect, but I keep coming back to this because it truly was a magical moment of understanding the lore side of what they were doing in 2016, the kind of reboot. So to have them kind of close the loop on a lot of that stuff and reference back to a lot of the lore in that game, very exciting for me. Makes me giddy again. So I'm excited to see what they're working on there. So yeah, hats off. I love everything you guys do. Thank you for inviting us to preview Doom, the Dark Ages DLC.
All right, Lawrence, well, when do we get to play it?
Not soon enough, but actually pretty soon. Yeah, it's coming out on July 7th. It's going to cost $19.99 US dollar. Or if you have the premium edition, it is included in that if you already got that. Or you can upgrade to the premium edition for $35. But thank you very much, Bethesda. I didn't even point out my Rip and Tear banner. Yes, maybe I can get a new custom Doom shirt made for the DLC. Very exciting. We always make an event of it, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Bethesda, for inviting us to look at the game. We attended a digital preview. That's why we're talking about it now. I'd be talking about it anyway. But yeah, thank you, Bethesda. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to dork out about Doom with you. So close.
One thing too, Doom: The Dark Ages is on a 67% discount for the Steam Summer Sale. It's at $23 right now. So now is the time by Doom: The Dark Ages, and you can grab that DLC right on top of it in the next few days. So.